I really don't like working with this.
Her to clean up the encampments. Advocates behind the lawsuit want San Francisco to move resources from encampment sweeps to affordable housing and other initiatives to reduce homelessness. And the San Francisco committee has released its final set of recommendations to provide reparations to the city's black community, including potentially $5 million in payments meant to rectify some of the harm caused by generations of systemic racism. But it is far from clear whether those possible payments or any of the other recommendations from that committee will become reality in the near future. Board of Supervisors Shaman Walton pressed the issue at a recent meeting.
Speaking of investment, any plans to support the $50 million supplemental I introduced to fund the Office of Reparations, the staffing, the committee's approved recommendations, a database to locate eligible participants?
I have no plans at this time to support that request. Thank you.
That's some of the news happening around the Bay Area. I'm Natasha Williams on your home for 24/7 News, San Francisco's BIN 910.
51% of all food programs in the Feeding America network are volunteer-run. Learn more about how you can play an important role in ending hunger at feedingamerica.org. That's feedingamerica.org.
All the black news you trust every 30 minutes on the Black Information Network.
The Bay Area's BIN 910. A special thank you to CVS Pharmacy,
A proud founding partner who shares and supports the mission of the Black Information Network. Didn't catch the latest Roland Martin Unfiltered podcast? Here's what you missed.
We're going to these places where they voted for Trump and didn't vote for Biden and say, this is how we made your life better.
It's real, it's raw. Roland Martin Unfiltered.
The fact that you're carrying the mantle for a conviction shows you have ulterior motives. And those ulterior motives are keeping a black man behind bars.
Download the Roland Martin Unfiltered podcast on the iHeartRadio app and catch Roland Martin's daily commentary on the Black Information Network.
The National Medical Association is the collective voice of African American physicians. The NMA focuses primarily on health issues related to African Americans. Learn more at nmanet.org.
Staying informed has never been easier. Tell your smart device to play the Black Information Network station on iHeartRadio. INnews.com.
news with a new perspective.
The My Block, My City, My Hood Company organized a downtown day for 1,000 young people in Chicago. News with a black perspective.
Stepfather to late rapper Tupac Shakur. Matulu Shakur has died. The Black Information Network is 24/7 news.
The white mayor of Newport, Oregon has resigned after being accused of posting hateful racist messages that he used to use.
The Bay Area's BIN 910 and on the iHeartRadio app.
What happens when you add Chevrolet, the National Newspaper Publishers Association, and some of the best and brightest HBCU students in the country? The 2023 Discover the Unexpected Fellowship. These amazing young ladies and gentlemen are driving change with the summer experience of a lifetime. Brought to you by the 2024 Chevy Trax. To learn more about the program and follow the students' experience, visit nnta.org/ChevyDTU. Home is where the heart is. During hurricane season, it's also in the eye of the storm for some of us. We're bracing ourselves this year because the sea temperatures are high. Who will protect our homes, our health, our mental well-being?
Direct Relief, the nonprofit focused on improving health in hard-pressed communities, will be there with emergency shipments of medication and supplies for community health centers, solar energy and backup, so those who need it can get treated. Learn more at directrelief.org.
Black Journalism at Work.
Because truth matters. The opinions, beliefs, and viewpoints expressed in this commentary are those of the author and do not necessarily represent those of BIN and its founding partners and employees.
I'm James C. Harrison. I have something to say. Hell has frozen over. There is no better sign of that metaphysical occurrence than the article that was published in The Atlantic last week, written by a lifelong Democrat and Biden superfan. The article emphasized Joe Biden is always the latest in the years ago, a gallon of gas was a little over $2. A carton of eggs was close to $1, and unemployment was virtually non-existent, hovering around 1%. Mortgage rates were about 3%, and peace was breaking out all over. Now, the Democrats are focusing on Biden's age. Obviously, that is all they have. They pointed out the facts that I just recited. Not only would Biden lose the 2024 election, but the entire party and all of his candidates would be doomed as well. So, as the author of the Atlantic hit piece writes, the president has no business running for office at age 80. The author claims that, unlike Trump, Biden presented himself correctly as a decent, experienced, and entirely normal politician. And he goes so far as to assert that Biden may even have saved the country. He says, "We owe Joe a profound debt of respect and appreciation." No, we don't. And yes, he may have presented himself as a decent, experienced, and entirely normal politician, but very quickly, he showed us exactly who he was. A befuddled, degenerate, warmongering tool of the ruling elite who appears to have made a fortune selling his country to the highest bidder. The kind of tool who turned the White House into a drug bin. If they can't be honest about why Joe must go, that he's a criminal and his polling shows it, the least they can do is yank him off the stage instead of yanking our chains. I'm James C. Harris for the Black Information Network. You can follow me on Twitter at James C. Harris.
It's a green light. Stop sleeping.
Black News in 30
That
minutes.
is sleeping.
Black Information Network.
The Bay Area's BIN 910.
I'm Doug Davis, and here's what's trending. 3 black centurions who survived the Tulsa Race Massacre have appealed an Oklahoma judge's decision to toss out their lawsuit for reparations. They said they will not go quietly. That's what's trending from the Black Information Network.
Sports on the Black Information Network. New Orleans Saints running back Alvin Kamara is admitting to his role in last year's Las Vegas hotel brawl. He pled no contest to a misdemeanor charge. In return, Kamara will have to do community service and pay the victim $100,000 for his medical bills. The NFL star was part of a group of men that beat up Darnell Green as they left the club. The end of the case could mean the NFL can now discipline Kamara, and a suspension could be forthcoming. The unofficial first half of the big league season is in the books, and there are several surprising teams leading their division. After losing 100 games last season, the Cincinnati Reds find themselves atop the NL Central at 50-41. The young Diamondbacks are tied with the Dodgers in the National League West race. The red-hot Atlanta Braves continue to dominate the NL East and have the best record in the senior circuit at 60-29. The Tampa Bay Devil Rays lead the American League at 58-35. The Rangers have also seen a great turnaround after losing 94 games last year. Texas comes out of the break in the AL West at 58-39, 2 games ahead of the defending world champion Houston Astros. The Cleveland Indians hold just a half-game lead on the Twins in the AL Central. Get your sports at 14-44 past each and every hour. I'm Ray Harris on the Black Information Network.
A special thank you to Geico,
A proud founding partner who shares and supports the mission of the Black Information Network. iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with John Legend about where he gets the stories behind his songs.
Sometimes my music isn't always directly autobiographical. Sometimes I just write a song because an idea came to me. I like to tell great stories and build on those stories and hopefully make them into great songs. We try to tap into the human experience, and it doesn't have to be our personal experience all the time to create great art.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from your favorite artists. Join the Rainbow Push Coalition, Citizenship Education Fund, and Push XL for its annual international convention, July 15th through the 19th. This year's theme is the perilous journey from freedom to equality. The convention features many distinguished session speakers on topics of educational equity and shaping public policy at the state and federal levels of government. Register at rainbowpush.org. That's rainbowpush.org.
Entertainment news. on the Black Information Network. This year's Primetime Emmy Award nominations are in, and HBO's Succession leads the way with an impressive 27 nominations. The Emmys unveiled the nominees for the 75th edition of the award ceremony as the writer's strike continues and the possible actor's strike looms. Apple TV Plus series Ted Lasso dominates the comedy field with 21 nominations. Quinta Brunson is nominated for the second year in a row for her role in Abbott Elementary. Actress Janelle James and Emmy-winning actress Sarah Lee Rouse were also nominated in the Best Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series category for Abbott Elementary as well. The show was also nominated for Best Comedy Series. And breakout actress Dominique Fishback is nominated for Best Actress in a Limited Series for the Amazon Prime show Swarm. The CEO of the Television Academy, Frank Sherma, announced the 2023 nominees along with TV star Yvette Nicole Brown, who is currently starring on the sitcom Ask Her Age along with Kim Whitley and Keisha Campbell on the Bounce Network. The ceremony is currently scheduled to be held September 18th in Los Angeles, California. Congratulations to all the nominees. Meanwhile, musician Sheila E. made history when she received her star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. She is the first female solo percussionist to have a Hollywood star. Fellow percussionist Ringo Starr from the Beatles and R&B singer Her are among those who spoke at the ceremony. Songwriter and producer Jimmy Jam Harris emceed the event. Sheila E. Starr will be in front of the Musicians Institute on Hollywood Boulevard. For the latest in entertainment at 17 and 47 minutes past each hour, I'm Marie on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Time now for traffic and weather. Want to head back to Berkeley? We have two accidents working. One of them has been cleared eastbound 80 near Ashby. They got that cleared onto the shoulder, and both lanes have reopened. Traffic still heavy on eastbound 80 between 880 and Highway 4. Still got that crash working on westbound 80 at Gilman and Victoria. Get two pickups involved in that accident. One of the pickups flipped over. You're looking at least a 20-minute delay. Two left lanes block traffic still slowing down at Carlson Boulevard. Also in San Jose, keeping an eye on southbound 280 approaching Highway 87. We're getting word of an accident involving two cars that was blocking the right lane. That's been moved off to the shoulder. Clear skies overnight, lows in the 50s and 60s. Sunny, very warm inland tomorrow. Highs in the upper 80s to low 90s. With Bay Area traffic and weather, I'm Ricky Batiste on the Black Information Network.
When you need to know,
This is where Black news comes first.
I'm Doug Davis.
And I'm Amber Payton, in for Esther Dillard on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Here are your top stories. White Republicans are on a march to eliminate college scholarships. The number of homicides in Memphis, Tennessee dropped last year, the latest city to say they've seen a reduction in black-on-black crime. And black pastors in the Columbia, Tennessee area will be praying for unity when they meet to discuss the KKK flyers left at several black churches in Maury County. Many blacks across the country are concerned about the increase in hate crimes.
Hate crimes are on the rise again in America. At least that's what the FBI statistics are showing. And as always, African Americans are the primary victims of reports of hate crimes.
That's Robert Patillo speaking on Roland Martin's Unfiltered podcast. The flyers were left recently and warned that race traitors and other godless people better make amends or stay away. The pastors plan to meet soon.
Black Joint Chief of Staff nominee General Charles Q. Brown recently appeared before the Senate Armed Services Committee. Brown, who currently serves as Chief of Staff of the U.S. Air Force, was nominated by President Biden to succeed current Joint Chief of Staff General Mark Milley, whose term will end in September.
I commend the prerogative President and the Secretary of Defense by military advice, informed by the Joint Chiefs and our military leaders.
If confirmed, Brown would only be the second black man to hold the position of Joint Chief of Staff after Colin Powell.
The Supreme Court's decision to order Alabama to come up with two majority black districts was historic. But in contrast, over 50 years ago, the nation's highest court ruled against the black activists who sued the former Confederate capital of the South, Richmond, Virginia, for annexing a white area to become a part of the city. At the time, Richmond was mostly black and poor. Activists felt the move diluted the voting power of black residents. But after the decision, boards were created and blacks began to be elected to the city council, and Richmond eventually elected its first black mayor.
As California lawmakers weigh in on if and when it will pay reparations to eligible black residents, a push by white Americans to do away with reparations is taking shape. Polls from reputable research firms show that white Americans simply feel blacks don't deserve it. After 2 years of research, Camila Moore, chairwoman of the California Reparations Task Force, explains exclusively to the Black Information Network why do. We identify self-harm, the evaluation of black businesses, housing discrimination, mass incarceration over policing, and other harm. And we pretty much made the argument that there's state culpability for these harms, thus there needs to be compensation from the state valued at over $800 billion.
California lawmakers will have a few months to decide how to proceed with its reparations effort.
In a related story, the Chicago suburb of Evanston is paying reparations to black residents, which could be a test run for the rest of the country. Evanston has already paid black citizens from a $10 billion package approved in 2019 and will pay out even more at the end of the year. For more on these stories and international, national, and local news affecting the black community, listen to the Black Information Network, the iHeartRadio app, or log on to BINnews.com. I'm Doug Davis along with Amber Payton sitting in for Esther Dillard on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
You've got a voice. We've got a hotline. Call the Black Information Network at 855-500-9BIN.
Play the Black Information Network on the iHeartRadio app.
Truth matters. Count on BIN.
The Black Information Network.
Big Heavy, BIN 910. Your money on the Black Information Network.
A Chicago suburb is paying reparations to black residents, which could be a test run for the rest of the country. Evanston has already paid 16 citizens with a $10 million package approved in 2019. According to the Evanston Roundtable, the committee expects to have paid $25,000 by the end of the year to 140 qualifying residents. Head of the Thurgood Marshall Civil Rights Center at Howard University, Justin Hansford, told the newspaper he sees it as an experiment for the rest of the U.S. And the Mega Millions jackpot is now past the $500 million mark after Tuesday night's drawing. 3 people won $1 million each for matching 5 of the 6 numbers, but there was no grand prize winner. So the jackpot for Friday's drawing will be worth an estimated, get this, $560 million. The Powerball jackpot, meanwhile, at a whopping $725 million. Chances of winning the Powerball jackpot is 192 million to 1. But someone always wins. And why not you? Money News at 24 and 54 past each hour. I'm Natasha Williams on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Get black business news every 30 minutes
On the Black Information Network. The Bay Area's BIN 910.
I'm Amber Payton in for Esther Dillard.
And I'm Doug Davis on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Here's a fact. Childcare costs are expensive. It can average about $18,000 per year. That's about 42% of the median income for the typical black family. Well, I had the chance to talk with the assistant to President Biden and the director of the White House Gender Policy Control, Jennifer Klein, about a proposal submitted that would cap child care costs at 7% of a family's income and assist child care providers. As far as when families can expect to feel some relief,
It would take a bit of time, but 45 days is a very short time frame, and then HHS will work very quickly to incorporate all the comments and get these changes out the door.
if approved, child care costs will be capped at about $10 per day for the typical family.
That's not all President Biden is doing to help the black community.
We've seen a reduction in the child poverty rate for black children. It's been reduced by 12%, impacting over 200,000 children through the 50 plan.
That's Joel Gable, White House economist, on a recent press call detailing more ways the president's policies are helping blacks. 20% odds are what this 17-year-old was given to survive sickle cell disease. Hanif Mowila, who was black, beat those odds after being diagnosed at the age of 8 and receiving a stem cell transplant from his mother. Now, inspired by his own experience, he's headed to Harvard to study medicine.
If being an entrepreneur at 13 isn't impressive enough, Lena Ford is also giving back to black foster children and their care needs. Ford, who is black, has announced a new initiative, Embrace Their World campaign.
Catch us
Doug Davis on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network. Now here's Morgan Wood with a Healthy Minute. Black and Latino people are less likely to receive CPR from a bystander. That's according to a 2022 American Heart Association study that found Black and Latino people were 41% less likely to receive CPR if they were having a cardiovascular episode. Even more alarming, the discovery remains the same at home, that white people are more likely to receive CPR. Health officials say almost every person with hands can save a life. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services reports Black Americans are 30% more likely to have a fatal heart episode compared to white people. Rush University Medical Center Dr. Nicholas Cozy spoke to WPCW, saying the pandemic could be to blame because restrictions made people more hesitant to engage. Health officials are encouraging everyone to learn CPR and first aid. That's your Healthy Minutes. I'm Morgan Wood on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Portions of the following program will be recorded. Telling the Black American story.
The Black Information Network.
The Bay Area's BIN 910. Isabel Sanford's role as Louise Weezy Jefferson made her a household name, and on September 13th, 1981, she made history. She became the first Black woman to win the Emmy for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Comedy Series, and just the second Black woman to win an Emmy of any kind.
Waited so long, all my humility is just gone.
Gwendolyn Sanford on August 29th, 1917 in Harlem, New York. She worked as a stage actress out of high school, relocating to California with her 3 children after a divorce. Isabel Sanford made her Broadway debut in 1965 in James Baldwin's The Amen Corner, which later led to Norman Lear casting her in All in the Family. The Jeffersons was a spin-off show that debuted in 1975, starring alongside Sherman Hemsley as George Jefferson in the role. Isabel Sanford was nominated 5 times for the Golden Globe Award and 7 times for the Emmys. Sadly, Isabel Sanford passed in 2004. I'm Weston Tishome for the Black Information Network. 9:10 a.m. KKSF, Oakland, the Black Information Network.
Tell your smart device to play Bay Area's BIN 910 on iHeartRadio.
Information Network. President Biden is assuring Ukraine that the country will always have NATO support. Biden spoke on the final day of a 2-day NATO summit in Lithuania. Biden also met with Ukrainian President Zelensky directly earlier in the day. There's a new $6 million initiative to try to give home ownership and wealth-building opportunities to Black residents in Newark, New Jersey. Black Mayor Ross Baraka says, "We believe that home ownership is fundamental to equity for those who have been blocked by systemic barriers." On this day in history, back in 2009, in the second full Billboard chart week after the death of Michael Jackson, which ended on this date, 1.1 million copies of albums in the late pop superstar solo catalog had been sold. That was a 37% increase in sales over the previous week. And that is the latest. I'm Doug Davis from the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
I'm Terry McCready.
And I'm Kevin Brown on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
A white woman accused of fatally shooting her black neighbor through the front door of her home has pleaded not guilty to manslaughter.
Her 9-year-old son is feeling guilty, feeling like it's his fault. He wish he wouldn't have said nothing about the iPad, because then that means his mother would still be alive.
Attorney Ben Crump discussing the impact the tragedy is having on the victim's family. 58-year-old Susan Lawrence was charged in Marion County, Florida, after shooting 35-year-old Ajika Owens, who was attempting to confront her for allegedly hurling racial slurs and throwing skates at her children and taking their iPads. Authorities say the 2 women had been embroiled in a lengthy dispute over Owens' children playing near Lawrence's property.
New Rochelle, New York residents declared Black Lives Don't Matter during a city council meeting following the death of 37-year-old